I call this meeting to order. Would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Yeah. Roll call, show 4 present, Mark absent. Item 4, acceptance of the written minutes of our May 15th meeting. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we accept it as printed.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the written minutes of our May 15th meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Abstain. 3-0.
Okay, that's right, yeah. 3 and 1 abstention. Item 5, acceptance of agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda, James?
Yes, I do have a request for a poll permit.
That's 11th hour.
11th hour, and we do have one executive session, so.
Make a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the agenda as amended. Any discussion? All those in favor? 4-0. Item 6, open to public. Anyone from the public wish to speak at this time? And a reminder to the viewing public, the call-in number for tonight's meeting is 930-8189. 930-8189. Item 7, a public hearing for liquor license for Long Togo Restaurant. Do I have a motion to go from our agenda to public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to go from our regular agenda to a public hearing for liquor license. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for vote. All those in favor? What do we have, James?
This is a renewal and an extension because I believe we're a little late, are we? The extension?
No,
You're extending the license too. This is your item for the liquor license.
yes, I am renewing the old one, the existing one right now,
Yeah.
and that one expired this month.
Yeah. So we will be extending that, and we'll be a renewal. Absolutely no complaints, nothing but praise, no issues with anything pertaining to the restaurant. And as far as I know, and Dick LaHaye's watching us. The police chief's watching. He says no issues at all with the police department.
Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, I'll now take a motion to go from public hearing back to our regular agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to go from public hearing back to our regular agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor? Item 8, any discussions from the public hearing?
I make a motion we approve the liquor license for, I can't pronounce it,
Elan Togo.
Elan Togo Restaurant, a renewal and extension.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to extend and renew the liquor license from the Long Togo Restaurant. Any discussion? All those in favor? You've got it.
Thank you.
And if you come by tomorrow, Debbie will have it all taken care of for you.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good night.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Item 9, on the old business, purchase of land on Martin Road with TIF funds.
Thank you.
Tomorrow morning.
All right. And I get the one for the deck also, right?
Yes, yep,
All right.
approved. Set. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had a conversation with the owners of 5 Mortland Road to purchase the land directly across from basically the town office and the public safety building and the superintendent's office in order to make an extension for parking, and we're still working and interested in putting in a charging station for electric vehicles. We actually met with some folks from the state today and yesterday and discussed helping us with that, and we had made an offer. It wasn't on paper, but an offer, and the counter offer of $66,500 was made. If the board does agree to purchase it, it would be with our tax increment financing funding, because it is an economic development approved use. And in fact, our hope is that if we can put this charging station in place, that we would encourage people by way of directional signage and maps to go downtown while they wait for the car to charge and spend some money in the downtown. We have talked to the state about this, and it is approved. The TIF reserve account currently has $343,063.09 in it.
What's the board's wish?
Make a motion, we accept the terms of $66,000 for 5 Maltland Road, to purchase 5 Maltland Road, and give authority to the town manager to negotiate and buy that property.
Yeah, 66.5.
66.5, I'm sorry.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to make the offer of $66,500 of the owners of 5 Martland Road, and have the town manager work with them on a purchase agreement. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? 4-0.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
That helps.
Item 10, on the new business 10A, resignation of library director, discussion and action.
Yeah, Katie Hessler is leaving us for a position in Ellsworth, in the Ellsworth School Department as a librarian, and basically a deal she couldn't refuse. She lives down there. She's done a great job for us. We're very, very pleased and happy for her to be moving on to something she wants to do. Just sad to be losing someone that's been so easy to work with. But according to the policy, the board has to accept the resignation and determine if we fill the position, and I also put in here and how, but the how is the Carver Memorial Library Association does the advertising and the search, and then they select the candidate and recommend it to the board, and they're eager to get that process going as soon as possible.
So right now you want a motion to
Accept the resignation.
Accept the resignation,
I'll make
and
that motion.
but we also need to approve filling the position.
Gonna do it in 2 motions or 1?
It's up to you. I
You
can
do
write.
one.
Okay. And move that we also
Fill it.
fill that position. It cover the resignation and the filling of
Yep.
the spot.
That's yes, your motion.
That's my motion, yes.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to accept the resignation of the library director and also to fill the position. Any discussion?
Yes. I'm sorry to see her go because I've heard nothing but praise since the day she was
Yeah.
hired. And compared to years past, we've been very lucky, and I wish her well. But sorry to lose her.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for vote. All those in favor? 4-0. 10B, citizen request for zone change.
Ms. Ward is here to talk about the issue with free-ranging chickens. Basically, I
Ducks too.
and now ducks. So she lives on in the 25 zone on the Mount Ephraim Road. Her property is just a few properties above the commercial zone. So she's actually in the residential zone, which makes it kind of a difficult thing to do. If she were down below in the commercial zone, it would be a lot easier to make this kind of a change. I did have a discussion with George after talking with Karen, and he thought, and his recommendation is that we may want to look at this as a standalone ordinance about where the overlay would be for getting some prohibitions or some rules, not really prohibitions, but rules. We probably wouldn't have a great problem if people were to pen up. I had a conversation with Mark, and he had a similar issue with one of his neighbors. And after a discussion, they have caged or at least penned the birds, and there's no more issue there. But that's not going to happen in this situation. It just isn't going to happen. So
When my husband turned, I am so deathly allergic to feathers. And since these chickens and ducks have arrived, my husband turns the fan on in the bedroom, and my bed is just covered with little teeny pin feathers that the fan is sucking in. So no matter if she pens them up, we're so close that I'm still going to be sick. Because the wind will blow them feathers all over the place. And I have been wicked sick since.
Is there room enough to put up a fence? And the cage?
She did put up a fence on my property. Said I pulled up the stake.
How long has she had the chickens? Over last winter?
let's say
No.
weeks,
Just weeks?
not months, but
Right.
weeks.
Like,
I-
how many are we talking about? Like a half a dozen or like 3 dozen or?
I saw them today.
I think there's 8.
Yeah, I would say it's less than a dozen.
But there's also there's a whole bunch of ducks.
Do you have, I have hay fever, do you have any, like hay fever or respiratory issues other than what's been brought on by the birds?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm allergic to bees, I'm allergic to feathers, I'm allergic to any stinging insect. I'm allergic to burdocks
Okay.
if they touch my skin.
These are what kind of birds? Are they Rhode Island Reds, New Hampshires?
No, the orange ones, that's all I know.
They have a rooster?
No.
No.
No rooster.
So the overlapping question is to take this on as a standalone. I will admit I tried to get some information from Maine Municipal right after Karen came to see me last week, and there's nothing on their website for a sample ordinance for poultry. But I know they exist because this is something that's going on across the nation, and there have been outright prohibitions in areas of town. So I need some more research. We, as a board, you could kick it over to the planning board for zoning, a zoning look, or even for finding an ordinance. George, usually don't even have to ask. He's on top of it, and he presents something to me before I can get to look it up. But I couldn't find anything on the Maine municipal site, but I'd like to bring something forward in the future that, near future, that will address that.
I think the potential is it could be a problem in a lot of places and a lot of different things. So we ought to do it comprehensively, not just for this one.
Right.
Well, chickens are not regulated by the state. They're not a livestock. I talked to Randy, again, immediately after talking to Karen, to say, what can we do through the state, and how can we get this so that we can relieve this this situation? And he's talked to the animal welfare people, and they said it's a difficult thing for them as well, because they have things on horses, dogs, pigs, anything that's a livestock animal, but chickens are not in their bailiwick to do anything with. So their recommendation to Randy is local ordinance.
Now,
We don't have to invent the wheel here. The wheel is out
Oh,
there
no,
somewhere.
no,
We
no,
just
I-
gotta find it.
I wouldn't even want to
No.
attempt to.
No.
I'd like to find something that's been vetted through
the system.
the system, because you know there's a big push for that independence of having your own
Mm-hmm.
ability to grow your food or get your eggs or whatever. And I'd rather have something that somebody's tested out, not stand alone, because it could be challenged.
But, you know, if we come up with something on our own, that's not gonna relieve this problem in this particular instance, because it's already existing, right?
I don't know. We'll dig. We'll dig for an ordinance, and we'll get some advice. Belfast is doing something.
Okay.
I just couldn't get
I know I read some time ago, Bangor was
Bangor too, yeah.
Bangor's done it
doing
too.
something, yeah.
It would be very easy in a downtown district to do it. And when she first came, I thought, well, easy, commercial district, we'll just put a prohibition in the commercial district. But she's a few properties outside of the commercial district, and that puts in a residential, which puts it, she's on the more populated edge of the residential. That stretches all the way up to near my home. And there's a lot of larger properties where you could move you're not near your neighbor, you're not on top of your
Right.
neighbor. So that would be problematic for zoning to do it. And I'm not about saying let's try it, but I'd rather try something that's successful than because I know I can't tell you if there are. I know two families that have chickens in the residential, and they would never be a problem to their neighbor because of the distance. So, but
I mean,
it's back
I
in my
can-
court.
I can open my bedroom window and kiss them goodnight. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
and if she's causing me more grief than
You have screens on your bedroom window?
yes we do.
You do.
But them little pin feathers come through them.
Yeah.
And
So I put this on the agenda for discussion only because I didn't have a solution yet. If you would table it, maybe to the next meeting, I'll put a couple of people on it and myself. We'll find something to bring back to you. At least in the discussion, because you can't pass an ordinance. You can only recommend it to town meeting.
Right.
So.
There's a bit, to your point, Jack, there's a big question whether that's, we pass it at town meeting, whether we'll stop it.
It might stop it in the future, but it might not alleviate this particular situation.
Yeah. How do we find that out? Lawyer?
Lawyer.
Any other discussion on this?
I had chickens, and I used to leave the gate open for the first batch because I had a rooster, and the rooster kept the hens in an area. Second batch of chickens, there was no rooster. Then girls were gone for the day. They were in my neighbor's yard grubbing and everything, and what a pain in the neck they were. And I didn't know, I couldn't make a rooster call to get them back. They came home when they wanted to come home. Yeah.
that wouldn't even be a solution because the properties are too close together, right?
Yeah.
But I did talk to a police officer the other day. He said he was Knox County, but he was here in Searsport. And he said that they can be fined for $50 at the least for chickens running at large. He said it wasn't a state law, it was,
Some local ordinance.
Our local law?
No, not ours.
Oh, in Knox County.
Where he's working in a different area.
Oh, okay.
So that it's out there, we just, I need a little more time to find it. And then give you some examples of what we've discovered and whether it is able to be, you know, applied retroactively or immediately. That's important, so.
I hope so. I'm still miserable, I just can't, I almost feel like I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we table this until the next meeting and give James some time to get some digging done on this to find out what we can do to help you out or to change the situation or to make everybody happy or whatever we've got to do.
It won't make her happy, nothing makes her happy.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to table this request until our next meeting to give the town manager opportunity to do some further research. Any discussion? All those in favor?
That's the
They let the ducks are fenced in, but they let them go. And
Yep.
Fowl
how did you,
and fowl instead of chicken.
but
Yeah, I'd say stop in tomorrow.
she says, and I'm gonna have the police, they want to come survey.
We'll talk about it.
Thank you.
There's a poll permit request.
Thank you, everybody.
Welcome.
We just gotta find it.
Okay, at 11th hour, request for poll permit from CMP.
It is a request for a poll off Dickey Hill Road on Black Road North. And I don't have it in front of me, but that's the request, and we'll,
Okay.
no reason not to say yes. It's in the
Right.
right of way, and it's going to service some new homes going in.
Do I have a motion on the poll permit?
I'll make a motion, we approve the whole permit before us.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve a poll permit on Black Road North in the area of Dickey Hill. Any discussion? All those in favor? 4-0. So we have some correspondence.
Yes. A couple of items in correspondence. Here's the poll permit. Anyway, the poll permit does include a signature line on that page. Dickey. First item is from Bernstein and Shore, and it's basically letting us know that we received the $1 million general obligation bond through the municipal bond bank, and that actually has come into our account and gone out of our account to pay for the bond anticipation note. That's it. The main PERS is informing us of changes to their cost of living and contribution side. Additional information about early retirement, unused sick time, and resumption fees. And the next one was a good one. The fee sharing from the State of Maine Department of Agriculture that was sent to us to let us know there's been a small increase in park fees, and we do get a check from visitations to Moose Point State Park. Not a lot, but we'll get a little bit more this year, haven't we? And that's it.
Item 13, treasurer's warrant. Do I hear a motion on those?
Make a motion, we approve the treasurer's warrant upon signatures.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the treasurer's warrant pending signature. Any discussion? All those in favor? Town manager report.
In Public Works, the crew's been very busy this spring. Sweeping and crosswalk painting were completed in May. They prepared and supervised the paving of the upper portion of Church Street. The curb has been installed and backfilled to build the sidewalk there. We should be able to get this paved this week. They did some brush cutting, ditching, and patching last month. Staff also put the railings back on the wharf and repaired one of the floats. 2 new floats were built by a contractor with grant money and have been installed. We were able to hire 3 school-age students part-time to mow and trim the cemeteries. One of the young men is back with us from last year, and they were able to get the cemeteries in shape for Memorial Day. Dan and Howard are doing well in wastewater, and they have no significant news to report. In Carver Memorial Library, the staff is doing well. I spoke to the architect who worked on the grant for the front steps. Now we need to find a company with the expertise to do the work. Unfortunately, I'm reporting that Katie will be leaving her position as director and taking a job in the Ellsworth School Department. Her efforts over the past several years have definitely made a difference, and we will miss her. The ambulance responded to 59 calls for service in May. They had 2 inter-facility transfers and 2 paramedic intercepts. Both ambulances are running good. The fire department responded to 10 calls for service. They issued 85 burn permits for the month. They have no truck or equipment issues to report, with one exception. The ambulance, the old ambulance that they've been using as utility 2 in North Station, the starter is gone, and it costs money to replace it, and it's questionable whether it has value to the department. I've spoken with the chief and some others within the department who work up there, and it might be time to let that go. I'll have a report later for you. In code enforcement, there's been a lot of activity with building permits. Several houses, garages, and sheds have been built this spring. Randy's doing a good job keeping ahead of this. The police department received 238 calls for service during the month of May. The chief attended the law enforcement memorial service in Augusta. The chief also attended the funeral of Corporal Cole in Bangor. He also served food at the benefit supper for the Cole family that was held last month. The drug take-back event of April yielded 29.8 pounds of medications turned back to the federal program in Searsport. Officer Gilway is away for summer for school, and he will not be available for shifts. The remaining reserve officers are assisting with filling the open shifts. The Memorial Day parade and ceremonies went well this year. In economic development, Dean continues to do a good job for us. He met with a landlord of multiple historic properties and downtown and others, and identified improvement programs that are available for them. He followed up with Cruise Maine, and we are now on the port of call directory for potential visits. He attended the HUBA meeting last month and brought back information on the commuter bus program being proposed for our area. He and I met with Jamie Logan from the Department of Economic and Community Development to discuss strategies for advancing economic development in our region. In the town hall, the early voting is underway. Debbie and Joanne are preparing for an interesting election cycle with ranked choice voting in the mix. Clam licenses opened on June 1st, and non-resident applicants were here at 10 p.m. the night before to be the first in line. We were sold out of non-resident license about an hour after we opened the door, or less. Harriet is working closely with the property revaluation team to make sure that the process is smooth. She has identified several properties that need to be looked at again for additional work. The Comprehensive Plan Committee, Shellfish Committee, and Historic Preservation Committee all met in May.
Do I have a motion on the town manager report?
Move to accept the town manager's report.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept town manager report. Any discussion?
James, You gonna forward this to me, or did you forward it?
Not yet. I just finished it tonight.
Okay, because I'll probably do something tomorrow.
I'll get it. I'll get it out to you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Selectmen's report. Dick, anything?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Maybe after 3, my mind will pop in.
Linda?
Yes, I spoke to Chief LeHay this afternoon, had a conversation with him, and he is doing well, and he wanted to send his well wishes, or his thanks for the well wishes and thoughts and prayers that everyone has had for him throughout this time. He's very happy with people
Right.
and their support.
Doug?
I have nothing.
I just want to say how great little celebration we had at Memorial Exercise, actually, on Memorial Day. The bagpipers really added to the
Yes.
parade. And I think
Definitely.
Dave needs to be congratulated for an excellent job, especially his first time of planning something like this.
I think he did a very good job.
Yeah.
Heard a lot of great comments about that.
Yep. That little bagpipe really added. Any call-ins, James?
No.
No? Okay. I'll now take a motion to go from our regular agenda to executive session to discuss confidential general assistance, poverty abatement request.
So moved.
Second?
Motion been made, seconded to go from regular agenda to executive session. All those in favor?